Okay, it's 10 a.m. Welcome to Soulful Sunday Gentle Flow. So, as always, this class is not necessarily about creating a lot of heat or getting in a good workout. It's about centering, really getting firmly rooted in your body and kind of prepared for the rest of the day. So, with that in mind, we're actually going to start on our backs in corpse pose. So go ahead and come all the way onto your back. Let your arms hang loose to your side. You can either close your eyes or maybe even just soften your gaze and start to turn your attention towards your breath. Breathing in through the nose and then either out through the nose or if you need to, out through the mouth, whatever feels more comfortable and natural. So go ahead and take a big inhale and then push all the air out. And we're going to do a couple rounds of box breath. So on your next inhale, we're going to breathe in to the count of 4, beginning now. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. And out. Slow. 3, 4. Hold at the bottom. 2, 3, 4. And breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. And out. 2, 3, 4. Hold at the bottom. 2, 3, 4. And then go ahead and inhale with your own silent count. Just continue that box breath. You may want to slow it down a little bit or speed it up. Go ahead and finish that last cycle of breath. And then we're going to do this one more time with a count of 5. So we're slowing it down a little bit more. So on your next inhale, breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold at the bottom. 2, 3, 4, 5. In. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. And out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now on your own, you'll hold to the count of 5 and continue this box breath for a couple more rounds. Go ahead and finish one last round of breath. And after you've exhaled everything, go ahead and pull your knees into your chest. Very slowly, one knee at a time. You may want to roll everything out a little bit. And then stretch your legs long in one direction, arms long in the other. See how much length you can create between the tips of your fingers and your heels. So press your heels down, down, down. Reach your arms up, up, up. And relax. Bring your arms back down to your side. Right foot's going to come flat onto the floor. And then we're going to bring our left knee in towards the body. And our left hand will be on our left knee. And we're going to just start to draw circles with that left knee in one direction. And the other. Okay, and then we're going to extend this right leg long. And we're going to bring the inside of the left foot, or the bottom of the left foot, to the inside of the right thigh. So it's like we're doing tree pose on the floor. So bring your right hand to the right hip, and bring your left hand to your left hip, and just notice, like almost definitely your left hip's going to be dropped down a little bit more, but just observe how everything's positioned. And then from here, you can either keep the hands on the hips, maybe you'll bring them out to the side, or maybe you bring them up and spread them like branches. Then start to activate that right foot. Pull the toes towards the body, press the heel down, just like you're standing in your tree pose, but then soften that knee a little bit. Soften the right knee. Start to engage the glutes, and notice when you squeeze that left glute, the left behind butt cheek, it starts to open up that left hip a little bit more. This is really important. Sometimes if our glutes are not properly activated, it can make our hip flexors really tight. So pay attention to just how much squeezing your behind opens up that hip. That's why it's so important that we have nice, strong, active glutes. And then physically take that left hand, grab the left leg and fold it in. Bring the leg in the center, and then bring both knees into the chest. Roll everything out. Now left foot comes flat on the floor. Right hand comes to the right knee, and start to draw circles with that knee. And other direction. And then extend the left leg long, bring the bottom of the right foot to the inside of the left leg. Anywhere that feels right, bring the hands to the hips and just observe. And then from here, maybe you bring your arms out to the side or extend your arms up like branches. Then try activating that left leg. Pull the toes up towards the body, press the heel down, but keep a little bit of a softness in that knee. And then squeeze your behind. Notice how that opens up that right hip. And reach down. Take that right hand to fold the right leg in towards center. Pull both knees into the chest. Then bring both feet flat on the floor, about mat distance apart. We're going to very gently windshield wiper the legs or the knees side to side. Very gentle. It's early. We might not have a lot of lubrication, a lot of synovial fluid move between our joints. We might be a little dehydrated, a little tight. So pay attention to where your body is right now and respect that, honor it. And the next time your knees drop to the right, let them hang out there a second. Maybe extend that left arm out. If it feels right, you can gently turn to look at it. Bring the knees up through center and to the left. Same thing other side. Maybe you extend that right arm out. Maybe you turn to look at it. And bring the knees to center. We're going to slowly start to make our way into tabletop. So go ahead and take your time getting there. And let's just start with a few rounds of cat and cow, just to kind of wake up the spine, especially the lower back. So hands are under the shoulders, knees under the hips. As you inhale, draw the heart between the arms, press the belly towards the mat. Bring the chin to parallel with the mat, and then as you exhale, pull the chin in towards the chest, roll up the spine, hug the belly button in, and move with your own breath. Few more breaths. Really start to wake up that spine. Last one. And come to a neutral spine and extend the right leg back. And so you're just hanging out on the right toes. And then check in with that left knee. Make sure the left knee is centered right under the left hip. And then from here, I'm hoping you guys can see my toes on my right foot good. You're going to kind of open that the right heel out to the side and then rotate it to the other side. Can you guys see what I'm doing here? And this is just another way to create some mobility in that hip joint. So make it nice and slow. The next time the heel drops to the left, let it hang out there for a second. If you want to create a little bit more heat, you can open up, but don't feel like you have to. Come back to center and inhale that right leg up. And then check in and see if you're rotated open. and rotate that thigh back towards parallel with the floor. And then take this right leg, cross it behind the left leg, and come down on the right toes. Start to turn towards the left, look over that left shoulder towards the right toes. Lift up through the right side of the rib cage, press that right hip down. You should feel a nice, good stretch on the right side of the waist. And then inhale the right leg up, bring it out to the right side, and turn to look over that right shoulder. Here we're creating length between the left side of the rib cage and the left hip. And come back to center, press back into child's pose. Inhale and come back into tabletop. Extend the left toes back. Check in with that right knee. Make sure it's centered under the right hip. And start to roll that left heel from one side to the other. Next time the heel drops to the right, keep it right there. And then inhale the left leg up. Make sure that thigh is parallel with the mat. And then cross it behind the right leg. Turn to look at the left foot. Create length between the left side of the rib cage and the left hip. Now inhale that left leg up and bring it out to the left side. Rotate and look over the left shoulder. Lift up on the right side of the rib cage. Press down through the right hip. And bring that leg back to center, knees apart, feet together, sink back into child's pose. Bend into the arms where the forearms are pressed onto the mat and the forehead rests on the mat. On your next inhale, press up into tabletop. Curl the toes under and start to lift the hips back into down dog. Create a nice solid foundation with the hands. So we're not necessarily spreading our fingers as wide as we can, but we're being mindful of the width between each finger. They're spread firmly to create a nice solid foundation. And then press down on that little meaty area between the thumbs and the pointer fingers. Press down into the mat. And then envision that you've got something just slightly behind your hips. There's a wall just behind your hips. So you're trying to press those hips back and touch that wall. Pull in on the belly button. You should have a nice straight back here, even if you have to have a nice generous bend in the knees to accomplish it. Let the head hang long. Get some length in the neck. And then on your next inhale, step your right foot in between the hands. Drop down on the back knee and either walk your hands to blocks or up on your thighs. Inhale, lift up to the chest. Exhale, maybe sink a little deeper into the pose. And then drop this left hand down. It's kind of about a handprint in front of where this right foot is. And then we're going to bring the right hand to the right thigh. And twist. So pay attention to where your knee is as far as in alignment with your right ankle, because a lot of times you'll see that this right knee kind of pops out, and you may just need to make a mindful effort to pull that knee in, or maybe you walk that right foot out, one footprint, and get it over that or directly under that right knee. But you want the knee and the ankle in alignment. Press into the thigh to deepen the twist. And then send the hips back and hover over this right leg. This is another great place to have blocks, or I thought of a really good substitute for blocks at home. DVD box sets. They're going to be the perfect height a lot of times. So that's if you happen to have a couple DVD box sets, they can be a good substitute for blocks. One more breath here. And then we're going to shift back forward onto this right foot. Slowly turn the left toes under and come up to this high lunge. Okay, so if you just weren't really prepared to do all this kind of work, you might want to stay on down on the left knee here. But if you feel ready, you can rise up and come into crescent. Bring the arms overhead, or maybe that's a little bit too much heat. Maybe you want to keep your hands at your waist or at heart center. And exhale, fold down, step that right foot back to meet the left, and down dog. One more big breath in down dog before we shift to the other side. And on your next inhale, step your left foot up in between your hands. Don't be afraid to help it out. You can always come down on this right knee and sweep it around. You can grab the ankle and then come down on that right knee. Either bring your hands to blocks or to the left thigh. Inhale, lift up through the chest, lengthen the spine. Exhale, sink a little deeper. One more breath here. And so you're bringing this right hand up and out to the corner of the mat. And then the left hand is coming to the left thigh to twist to the left. So check in with that left knee. See if it's opened up where it's going to kind of make your foot roll open, and either pull that knee in, or maybe you walk that left foot out about one footprint and get it positioned under the knee. You'll know you're in the right position when your foot is firmly planted on the ground, when you don't feel like you're rolling open or in. And press into the thigh to deepen the twist. And then we're going to curl the right toes under, send the left hip back, and hover over this left leg. So again, use blocks if you need to create that nice flat back over the left leg. One more breath here. And then shift forward, curl, or lift this right knee up if it feels right. And make your way up to crescent. Big breath in crescent. And exhale, fold down, step back into down dog. Big breath in down dog. And then slowly start to walk your feet towards your hands. We meet in standing forward fold. So in standing forward fold, pay attention to if your hips are shifted way far behind your ankles. And see if you can shift your hips. And a lot of times you can accomplish this by either rising up some, maybe coming to blocks, or walking your hands forward and bending your knees slightly. But we're trying to get our hips positioned directly over our ankles. And then press your heels firmly into the mat. Let the head hang long, really lengthen the neck. Maybe even reach back with one hand and rub out the neck. That spot where the head tends to feel like it's kind of crammed down on the top of the neck. On your next inhale, slide the hands up the shins, come up halfway. See if those hips are still positioned over the ankles. And exhale, fold down. Inhale with deep knees, firmly rooted feet, come all the way to a standing position. And exhale, hands to heart center. Okay, let's work on our tree pose while we're up. Just a nice, gentle, balancing pose. So we're revisiting what we did in our beginning pose on the floor. Obviously, we're activating a lot more muscles here. So start to shift your weight into your right foot and just come up on the left toes. And from there, draw that right hip in. And as you draw it in, envision that you're pulling up through the whole body, getting along through the whole body. And that really involves activating the core. And maybe you stay right here, or maybe you start to rotate that left knee out and prop the left foot to the inside of the right leg and just keep drawing that right hip in. Soft bend in the standing leg. And maybe you pull that foot up somewhere on the inside. Maybe you give it a little boost. The main thing you don't want to do is put a lot of pressure right on the knee joint. You can have your foot on the knee joint as long as you're supporting this leg with your core and not the knee. And then from here, maybe you open up your branches. Try and press that left knee open a little more. And lower everything down. Big breath in mountain pose. And other side, shift the weight to the left foot. Come up on the right toes. Draw in that left hip and let it create a chain reaction that lifts your whole body tall. And start to rotate that right knee out. Prop the foot somewhere on the inside of the left leg. And maybe you start to draw that foot up. You keep being mindful to pull that left hip in. Maybe you spread your branches. Check in with that left knee. Make sure there's just the softest little micro bend. And lower down. Big breath in mountain pose. On your next inhale, arms sweep overhead. And then on the exhale, let's pull the arms back to cactus and create a little bit of a back bend. Inhale, reach up. Again, exhale, Look at it like you're just opening your heart to the day, opening your mind. Inhale up one more time. And then inhale, lift up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Soft bend in the knees, firmly rooted feet. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold down. Step back into a plank. And then come down on the knees and lower all the way to the mat. So you can either just come to a supported sphinx, get everything nice and active, and create this nice little back bend, or you can interlace the fingers behind the back and inhale the arms and legs up for locust. And exhale, fold down, press up and back into child's pose. One more breath here. On your next inhale, rise up to tabletop. And if it feels okay, you're going to come up on the knees. You can always bring a pillow or a rolled up blanket under the knees. You can roll up the mat a couple of times to create a little bit more support. And let's bring our hands to our lower back. We're going to pull our elbows back so they're pointed straight back. And then lift up through the chest, and as you exhale, just create the tiniest little back bend here. We haven't created a lot of heat this morning, so we're not going to go into full camel, but usually for a lot of us, this is going to be a nice sufficient stretch. And then from here, squeeze your behinds and press the hips forward. Pull the inner thighs together. So there's a lot going on here. One more breath. And come center. Inhale the arms up. And exhale, fold down into child's pose. One more breath. Inhale back up into tabletop. Okay, so we're gonna come up into down dog and go into pigeon. But let me just say before we start, because we have not created a lot of heat this morning, sometimes just a standard pigeon like this can feel like a little bit too much on your knees and hips. So if that's the case, you always have the option to come to this recline pigeon where you're either your ankles propped on the knee or you come all the way up. So don't feel like you have to do the full expression of pigeon, especially today when we're not super warm. Otherwise, go ahead and curl your toes under, send your hips back. On the next inhale, maybe this right leg floats up, maybe you bend at the knee and open up at the hip for a second. And then we exhale, step the right leg through, spine gets long and we fall down. So you can either come all the way to the floor or you can bring any kind of prop, a couch cushion, books, anything under the head to kind of lift you up a little bit. This is another positive of being home. Look around your room. It is filled with all kinds of creative props. You can shove things under your hips, under your head, under your arms. Get creative. One more big breath here. And on your next inhale, rise up on both hands and maybe stay here and inch this left foot back a little bit, or you can bend the left leg and reach back with the right arm. This might feel like a little too much this morning, so don't feel like you have to. Don't feel like you ever have to do any yoga pose. And slowly release, left toe curls under, right foot comes back for down dog. Big breath here. Next inhale, maybe the left leg floats up, bends at the knee, opens at the hip. On the exhale, left leg steps through, pigeon on the other side. Spine is long. Get creative with your props if you need to. One more full breath here. And then inhale, rise up on both hands. Perhaps you just slide that right leg back a little bit more to open up the hip, or bend the right leg and reach back with this left arm. And release, right toes curl under, left foot steps back, down dog. One more time. So the last down dog of the morning, take some time to maybe pedal out the feet. You can sway the hips side to side. Just do whatever feels right. This is just another way to connect more with our bodies. The more we connect with our bodies, the more we can exist just in the present moment. All comes back to the body and the breath. One more breath here. And then come down on the knees, swing the feet around, and come all the way to a lying position. So we're going to come back into that lying tree that we did at the beginning, a reclined tree, and just see how different that feels. So go ahead and extend the right leg long. Bring the left foot, the bottom of the left foot, to the inside of the right thigh. Bring the hands to the hips and just notice, is that right hip maybe down a little bit more? Is your foot up a little higher? Hopefully you've created a little bit more openness in that hip. Even though this practice has been gentle, we've done a lot of hip openers. And maybe you spread your branches. A really good heart opener. And then reach down with that left hand, pull the left knee back into center and switch sides. So left leg is long, bottom of the right foot comes somewhere to the inside of the right leg. Hands come to the hips and we observe. Take that right hand, pull the right knee into center, and pull both knees into the chest. Then bring the feet flat on the floor, hip distance apart, arms come out to the side, and gently, slowly windshield wiper your legs from one side to the other. Next time the knees fall to the right, let them hang out there, and gently turn and look to the left. Knees pass through center, and let the knees drop to the left as we turn and look towards the right. Unwind, knees come to center, grab the right foot in the right hand, left foot in the left hand, and open wide for happy baby. If this isn't accessible, bring the hands behind the knees. You can have a gentle rock from side to side if that feels good. And then extend the legs, let the arms fall to the side, and make your way into your final relaxation pose. This is the time to really get firmly rooted into your body. You can revisit the box breath. You can just silently and without any control on your part, observe your breath. You can scan your body, each body part at a time, observing any tension, finding ways to start to soften those areas. All of these things help make us more present. And every time your mind starts to wander and you realize it, be happy, express gratitude, because this is another opportunity for you to practice bringing yourself back into the moment. It's a gift. If your mind has started to wander, here's your opportunity to express gratitude for yet another chance to practice drawing yourself back. True yoga is not about the shape of your body, but the shape of your life. Yoga is not to be performed. Yoga is to be lived. Yoga doesn't care about what you have been. Yoga cares about the person you are becoming. It is designed for a vast and profound purpose. And for it to truly be called yoga, its essence must be embodied. So as you start to reawaken your body and your mind, I invite you to set an intention on the rest of your day. Regardless of how you intend to spend your day, we can all set this intention to be yoga. The physical act of yoga is such a small part of what yoga is. It's how we walk through life, how we treat ourselves, how we treat others, how present we are. And every moment is an opportunity to be yoga. So if you haven't already started, start to create movement in your body in any way that feels natural. And as you slowly and gently begin to make your way to a seated position, any peace that you've accessed in your heart, try and hold on to that and recognize it's always there. It's just in these moments where we slow down and deliberately look at it, it gets a little more visible, a little more accessible, but it's always there. So sit up nice and tall, maybe roll the head around one direction and the other. Roll the shoulders up towards the ears. Draw them firmly back down the back. Let's inhale the arms up. And then as we exhale, let's drop the right hand to the left knee and twist. Gentle twist just to wake the body back up. And inhale the arms up to center. And gentle twist to the other side. One more time, we inhale the arms up and draw the hands down through heart center. And I thank you guys for allowing me to be part of your morning and sharing your practice. Namaste.